Wow. I have no idea what kind of a tomato plant this is, because I did not purposely put one here. That's so funny. And it's obviously not a cherry. I bet. Oh, I wonder if it's a blend from Estamas. Those look similar. I guess we'll find out. Cool. Alright. This needs to be harvested so bad. But for today, I'll take out a couple baby onions for my recipe. Cool. These are getting bigger, so those I'll leave alone. And let's see if any of these ready to come up. Garlic. This is so funny. Ooh, yellow onion. Cool. Got smart. Grabbed a basket. My first tomato of the season, almost ready to come off. Ha! Ooh. Look at this. That is the largest tomato I've ever grown. And it's not done yet. That's so cool. Those are turning nice and dark. Probably can't see it well because of the light, which is why I should not be doing a tour. It's not the right day, Kristen. Or at least, not the right time. Ooh. Well, you're hanging on, so I'll leave you alone. Let's see. Alright, I wanted some pepper. That little bitty bell is not cool. It's a little bit green, too green, but for what I want to do, that's fine. They are on the wrong side of this bed because of monstrosity that has taken over the flowers. But I see a jalapeno I want. So I'm just gonna have to reach. Thank you, jalapeno. You're either a jalapeno or not a jalapeno. I guess I'm about to find out. Alright. And that purple cayenne, I'm going to leave for one more day. It really needs to come out soon. Oh, then you know what? I'm going to take that one because, well, it's not quite as big as these. I'm going to leave it for a little while longer. And just take these bigger ones. And let the rest keep growing. Yeah, let that keep growing. The little jalapeno peppers can keep growing. Same. Ooh, this one's a jalapeno. I bet that one is too, but like I said, you find out the hard way. Alright. Next, let's look at our beans and peas. Nothing yet. Going to be something soon. In desperate need of cleanup. You will have some things for me soon. Same with you. And with you. Look at that giant nasturtium. Alright, let's see. I got some oregano. Some rosemary. Look at that giant cilantro that went to seed. What are you? Oh yeah, that's more oregano. This one's doing pretty good. This one's doing well, so I don't feel as bad about taking a little bit of extra from you. Goodbye, Aunt. I'm not bringing you inside my house, so goodbye, Aunt. Now to wash them all off and make sure there's no more ants in there, because I do not like having ants inside my house. No, thank you. Not bad for my first real harvest haul. And you are all going to be a part of dinner. Kind of. Maybe. Mostly. We'll see. Guys, it's hot. Sorry about the dishwasher in the background. I'm trying to clean a bunch of things. Note to self and to anyone who's not used to doing this adventure. It's actually not best to harvest in the heat of the day. It's like, what time is it? 3 o'clock. But it's the time I have between work, meetings, going to pick up my tiny human, and everything else in life. So many so's. I'm taking the opportunity I have to go ahead and do something I've been wanting to do. I am going to roast a chicken. I don't think I've ever actually roasted a whole chicken before. No, scratch that. I know I haven't. Now, turkey. I have cooked turkey. I have smoked a turkey. I've done all kinds of things with turkey because of Thanksgiving, but never a chicken. No idea why. The reason why I decided to go ahead and do it, one, I'd like to try and cook more at home. 2, I am trying to improve my diet by going more whole foods. I'm growing things. Let's cook at home. 3, I basically just told you the last thing. I'm growing these ingredients. I need to use them. And 4, most importantly, I'm going to practice canning by making my own chicken broth or chicken stock. Chicken broth. I'm going to practice canning by turning my bones into broth. Need to roast the chicken first and then put the bones in to make myself a chicken broth. No idea how to do it, but it means I get to use my pressure canner for the first time. I'm super excited about that and slightly nervous, but I have to roast a chicken. So I'm gonna walk through what I got and what I'm doing because I'm not exactly going off of a recipe, also known as I'm making it up as I go. I'm not making a recipe at all. This could turn out awful, it could turn out great, no idea. But we're gonna try it anyways. You saw me pick a lot of this out of the garden, but not shown earlier, my potatoes. And obviously I had to buy the lemons because my lemon tree is very, very small. I have plenty of onions, but they're little. I have tarragon, thyme, rosemary, and oregano. The green beans, I'm not gonna roast in here, I don't think. They just needed to be taken off because as you can see, they're getting long. And I have a few different versions. I have one little bell pepper, again, not gonna be used in this, just 1 and 2. I don't know if this is a jalapeno. It could be a tam jalapeno, and it could be a not jalapeno. We're gonna find out in a little bit. And then my purple cayenne pepper, I'm probably not gonna use because I don't want to make this spicy and my child not touch it at all. I also invested in a dehydrator because I know that things like this happen where you get 3 of a pepper and Although I could do it in some things, you're not going to be able to use it for everything. Even the green beans, there's only so much I can do with that. Now that's enough that I can make myself a side and my kiddo can eat them because she's 2 and won't eat much anyways. But overall, I have a lot of times where there's just not enough food coming out of the garden to make out as a side or a meal, and I don't want it to go to waste. Or the opposite, I have too much and won't be able to cook it fast enough. So I invested in a dehydrator, and I also invested in a electric pressure cooker. The reason why I went ahead and invested in that, I get nervous about the concept of a regular pressure cooker, and my grandmother's terrified of them because she thinks they're going to explode, and I will take her word for it. I know that I could absolutely be brave enough, smart enough, and figure it out. It's not impossible, and I do want to learn how to use one eventually, but I also know that my little ADHD self, I'm too squirrely. I can't focus long enough to stay in a room with a pressure canner. So by doing the electric one, I negate a lot of the risk. You still have to be around and watch it, but it does a lot of the work for you. So I'm excited to try that out. Besides, it's all about being able to grow, not necessarily. I'm not in a true prepper situation yet where I don't have electricity. So although it would be nice to learn how to use one of those in either a wood burning stove or on a grill, fire pit, something else, something with propane, I have those too. It's an option in the future because it would be nice to know how to do it in case I ever had to do it. But I'm taking full advantage of the fact that I have nice electricity and air conditioning. So please don't judge. Anywho, so what I am going to put with my chicken, my onions, the potatoes, my herbs, and the lemon, and a bunch of butter. Now, okay, I also need to call out, I know you guys just heard me talk about how I'm trying to eat healthier, the sodas and things in the background. I have a teenager that comes to my house for babysitting, and I'm a foster mom. Having things that are comfortable to the kids who come to my home is important. And although I may not enjoy having sodas in the house, for me, my daughter doesn't drink them, obviously, she's too young. It's important to have some things like that for the kiddos that need something that's familiar. So, and the teenage babysitter really likes them. If you've never had tiny humans, keeping a babysitter happy, it's very important because they stay. You need them to stay. And the other thing I'm going to put on my chicken, obviously, butter. I think I'll put a little bit of olive oil in the roasting pan just out of habit. I might do lard instead. We're going to play with it. Because I'm not going off of an actual recipe, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but that's half the fun, right? Might as well go with it. All right, so I'm going to do about 1.5 sticks of butter. I'm going to melt it real quick because I don't really have time to wait for it to get to room temp. You know, me, procrastinator. I'm doing great. And I have my roaster oven, my chicken. So I have to get those ready, prepared, and start putting all this together / washing anything that needs to be washed. Something to keep in mind, because you can see that these onions aren't super dirty. I was able to kick off a lot of the dirt outside, but if they're covered in dirt, and even the little bit I had, I kind of winced a little bit, do not rinse them off in your sink because you'll clog your sink, and then you have a bigger issue at hand because we need our sinks. I'm not going to use all of this. However, any of my scraps are going to be saved for my Lumi. I got a Lumi, so now I have 4 different ways I'm composting, and I'll do a video about that later. But I've been using the Lumi a lot because of its ease, and I'm wanting to test it out and see how well it works. Plus I'm adding things in for my worm farm. The things that are going to my compost, because I have those 4 different methods now, I'm dividing this up. So a 4th goes in everything. I just have a bin that I put all of my scraps in throughout the day, and depending on where I'm putting each item, because the Lumi actually takes things that I don't put in my worm farm and I don't put in my composter and in my extra little tubs. So
because they can take a little bit extra and a little more, I'm a little more cautious with the others and just divide it out. Relatively equal. I need to cut up these onions. My compost scraps. I've been using that tub. Anybody else ever have these in their, like, I think they were a big 80s thing. I'm fairly certain they came from hospitals or just some kind of pharmacy something. I don't know why I have it in my head that they came from a hospital, but in my head they came from a hospital. I think this tub has been in my family since I was a kid. We used to use it as the, well, when you got sick bucket. Obviously this thing has been cleaned many times since, but I'm using it as my scraps now and hopefully never to be used as the other kind of bucket again, but life happens. You can use the greens for other things, so I may just rinse some of these off and leave them or cut them up so that I have the greens for other recipes. I'm not a big fan of wasting. You'll hear me talk about that a bit. And really, some of my onions needed to stay in the ground a little bit longer, but once they start browning and they're getting ready to go to seed, it's kind of a ticking time bomb, and I would rather get them small than not get them at all. So I'm not harvesting them all at once yet. I'm just grabbing what I need when I cook. And because I'm trying to cook more often, I should go through them fairly quickly. It'd be really cool someday to be able to put a ton in the garden to where I could actually put some back for the winter and the spring and fall. Yeah, winter, spring, fall, whenever I can't actually grow the onions. That would be really cool. We're not there yet. Setting aside, because my cutting board because my cutting board is dirty, I'm going to do one side, rinse, and then flip it to the other side to do the rest. Now, I know that there are people out there who are going to cringe when I cook with my hands and not wearing gloves. Sorry. I'm cooking for me and my family. This is how I cook. So I'm not trying to be a major cooking channel and tell you how to do things the best way. I just do better this way. There's actually a legit reason, and if you'll give me some leeway, I'll explain. If I wear gloves, they are always too big. My hands are that awkward size where they're really not a small anymore. They kind of are. And they never fit appropriately. So then I end up sliding, and when it comes to cutting things and doing things that require sharp objects, no. I also really like the feel of the food because I like to know if it's too squishy and all the other things. Like, there's things you can get from touch that you cannot get from just looking at it. So I am what I am who I am. I hope you're cool with it. If not, you can tell me that you'd rather me not cook with just my hands, and I'll say I'm so sorry and I'll keep doing it. Just don't look at my hands. If it bothers you, just don't look. Now, because I talked about some of the stuff that I did purchase, I do want to call out that I don't love spending a lot of money on gadgets, but I love having gadgets. It's a weird juxtaposition where I really want to save my money, but I really want all the cool new toys. It's my age, it's my generation. We like toys. I blame Toys R Us. The giant catalogs they used to send out in the mail, they gave us a false sense of security and new toys, and that all the pretty shiny new things were always available. They're not, and it doesn't actually mean you need to spend the money. However, because I'm looking at them as an investment, I didn't feel that bad about it. I will point out, I don't buy things like that very often when it comes to kitchen supplies because I'm not new to cooking, but I'm new to cooking. I cooked a lot when I was younger. I know I'm not that old, I get it. So for anyone who is looking at me going, Kristen, you're not old enough to be able to say when I was younger. I am older than I look, but my mom is an amazing cook. My grandmother's both amazing cooks. My aunt, actually all of my aunts, I come from a family who's really good at cooking, and we used to cook together all the time. However, I've lived alone for so long that the convenience of getting food that was easy versus a meal, it went out a lot. Now that I'm trying this new Whole Foods thing, well, that went out the window. All right, everything's nice and cut up or cleaned off. Now to cut it up. I'm hoping that this experience will also make me better at cutting more evenly and less nervous. I'm always terrified I'm gonna cut my fingers. To roast. Y'all, look at this. My house smells amazing. I'm so excited. Yes. Y'all take care. Bye.